Hey, welcome everybody to another Final Fantasy VI randomizer weekly race. This time we've got some crazy flags going on, and I'm joined in the commentary booth by a new commentator, the Red Baron. How you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm excited for this race.
Yeah, we've got three of the best runners in the community going against a really challenging set of flags. I'll be curious to see how they decide to get this one done.
Absolutely. With the randomize and distort stats on between that, the character progression between 50 and 150%, that's going to make for some interesting strategies.
Yeah, it's going to be challenges all around. So the first thing we're going to see is how are people going to manage to get off the ground? And with only two characters, this could potentially be even worse than we expect. Could we see an Umaro Gogo start?
It looks like we have 6 characters, 9 espers, and 1 dragon.
Yeah, so the trying to track down one dragon usually isn't too hard. You have the guy at the top of Narsh, and then World of Ruin, and then also the Opera House as well. It Kind of when you start getting into more dragons, that things get a little hairy.
I do believe we're getting ready to start here any second.
Oh, there's
And we're off.
Gao and Gogo. All right. We've got Gao with throw, so that means we have Gogo with throw. All right. So this isn't too terrible.
No, it's definitely a good start as far as powers. As soon as they can find something that's actually throwable.
Yeah, so Jack is going to go straight into the Zone Eater. Looks like Jab's right behind, while everybody else is going to be digging some treasure chests. So, got a little bit of a divergence going on here. We'll see how it goes.
It looks like Jobinator is doing the exact same one. He's running right to Triangle Island.
Alright, so Zelfer finding a fire rod could come in handy. Especially with Gogo as well, you can mimic that fire rod all day. So,
Right. If you have the mimic, it doesn't actually eat up another fire rod or super ball or whatever item you're breaking.
alright, so Armor Shop is thoroughly unexciting. We got a chainsaw for sale in here. That's really about it.
Well, we got the bolt edges for the throw.
Yeah, that's true. That'll come in handy a lot, especially Bolt Edge and Fire Skiing are two of the ones you definitely want to see for sure.
And with Gal having a high natural magic stat, the schemes and the edges are going to be nice over shurikens, ninja stars, things of that nature.
Alright, so Jack pops open a Swordbreaker and a Man-Eater. Swordbreaker sells for a ton. Man-Eater is that's pretty solid too. Hey, well, Gao found some dried meat inside the Zone Eater, so that takes care of that. How about another free check?
Does the Gal dried meat fall under free progression?
I don't know. It might fall under free progression, but at the same time, you might as well just do whatever you can at the start just to get your hands on it. Like if it's
I
going to
do
be an
believe
item.
no free lunch is activated. It's not having warp stones. They're both having to walk out. And looks like Zelfer has found the rest of the mental affinity.
Yeah, definitely stocking up on the fire scans too. So let's see. Tiger Mask was on the way out, and Jack just gets dumped down. So pretty quick, efficient way of doing all of this. Yeah, nothing super exciting, but there's plenty of money to be had in here.
Well, I do believe in terms of strength, Zelfer is ahead, but um, with having that check out of the way,
All right,
looks like
so
he opted to go for the Velt instead of going to Triangle Island.
yep, also found dried meat for sale, so we're gonna just knock this one out. And unfortunately, There wasn't anybody hiding in that encounter, so we gotta try again. Meanwhile, Jack finds the warp stones at this merchant, like right after they were useful. Once again, Zelfer not hitting the NPC.
I mean, that is a little bit of a time sink, but this early in the race, it's not really much of a difference. Looks like Jack and Miss Wedge is catching up and going for the same check.
So you got Hero Ring, Atlas Armlet, Genji Glove. Wow, this is a loaded shop.
That's a very expensive hero ring.
It looks like Zelfer found a sniper at some point, so that's gonna come in handy as well. But Zelfer also having absolutely no luck with this this encounter right now.
Looks as though Jack and Miss Wedge is having the same issues on not being able to find this check. Oh, there we go. Zelfer got something.
Got Golem Magicite. Alright.
And Golem, one of the two of the coveted espers needed for Kefka.
Yeah, not only do you get calmness protection, but you get access to Ice 3 as well, so that's pretty solid, honestly.
And Jack and Miss Wedge is opting to do the Snake River.
Yeah, meanwhile, Zelfer is digging through South Figaro, World of Balance. Nothing exciting in that shop. Let's see, these guys are, yeah, this is going to be a little rough for Jack. I believe there was a Phoenix down in the Zone Eater.
Yeah, I believe you're right.
Oh god, there's a Brachiosaur in here too, and that's a blast rate. Okay, well, there was a remedy in there too, which is getting some serious use there. I thought that was the instant death blaster, but it turns out that's the disaster.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of an advantage he's from doing Surface Trench so early. Anything with the fixed battles on it, you know, usually can. You're running into things like Brachiosaurs, and it's not so good.
Alright, Zelfer finding a cat hood, so that's pretty solid. You can definitely make a lot of money out of this. It looks like Jack just doesn't want to take any fights in here, which is definitely doable.
In the Returner's Hideout for Javinator.
So yeah, Zelfer finding some good stuff. There was a Pearl Lance in there as well. Jack is through. Gets the Phoenix Esper. And now gets to shop for the first time. So we got a Dragon Horn, so that's not terrible. Especially
I
since
believe there's Dragon Boots in one of the shops.
yeah, but it looks like we're gonna pick up some beads for extra evasion. Oh, that is a very expensive something, so we're not gonna ever buy it here. Okay, so this is not a check that happens often, but Jack just found an offering wedged in the clock. So we're gonna dump that off, and that is gonna be the major source of money for Jack right now.
That is an amazing find, and I'm curious to see how that's going to benefit him because personally, I would have kept an offering.
Well, it's just how do you get started, and that offering is as awesome as that could be end game. I mean, Jack has a pile of rods as a result, so
I guess that is a fair trade.
I got a thunder shield in here as well.
And we got Zelfer checking out the shops from Phasma. I think I've seen a Magus head in there.
Yeah, those are pretty efficient ways to boost your magic power. So we got the Dragon Boots and Dragon Horn combo together. It's just a matter of does anybody feel like that's a good strategy at this point? I'm sure if anyone can equip the Pearl Lance, it might be worth a shot, but other than that, no. So a couple of attack stars sticking around too, and that's pretty nice, especially to get you started.
Absolutely. And we got Javanator picking up 2 pairs of. Those will come in handy with the boosting the magic for the throw.
All right, so there's an Atmo weapon down there as well, so that might be a good candidate to sell for the to fund your early game as far as Javanator goes.
And I do believe Jackamus Wedge is the only one that's done Serpent's Trench so far.
Yeah, and I don't know if Jack has even checked the Phoenix Esper yet or not.
No, he's not brought it up yet. Kefka may be the main villain, but menuing is really the main boss of this game.
Yeah, I've definitely lost some runs to the old menu boss there.
So let's see. Serpent's Trench is down. They've done Triangle Island. They've done Gogo's dried meat or Gal's dried meat check. So that leaves progression stuck at Kefka and Narsh. Is there something else?
Let's see, Kefka and Narsh. If we've mined everything out, then yeah, that's the only place a character could be. Which is probably why Jack is headed up there right now. But this Mad Oscar is going to give him a lot of trouble.
Yeah, it's not fun to find Kefka Tower enemies pretty much anywhere.
I mean, they were able to knock out the X-ray, no problem. But yeah, getting by the discount Morble, gonna be a little tough. You can keep mimicking the same Thunder Rod over and over again, though. So Jack's still got 2 left, and that's a ton of levels.
And we have Zelfer checking the World of Ruin South Bagheero, finding a Force Shield so far.
Hey, Force Shields are pretty nice. They can get you through some pretty nasty encounters. Yeah, the holy cow, that ammo weapon rolled high. there's a flame shield as well for everybody that loves Merton strats. Jack has to hightail it out of there. That was a long, annoying walk.
Yeah, I've had to travel out of Narsh with a poison screen many times, and it's not fun. And we have Javinator opting for the surface trench as well. Maybe we'll finally be able to get a peek at the Phoenix Esper once he gets through.
Yeah, so Jack just needs to get more levels, and it's kind of where we're stuck right now. Learned Ice 3, though, so now both of them know Ice 3. We got Seto Kaibo with the gift subs. Appreciate it. Doing all the work behind the scenes and giving subs, too.
Zelfer is going to catch up on the Triangle Island check. It looks like Javinator is having a bit more of an easy time through the surface trench than Jagamus Wedge had.
Yeah, I mean, these are definitely enemies that are doable for sure, but the question is, once you get on the other side of this, oh god, that was a ton of money from that already. That cat hood's already putting in work. I mean, you could easily die to some of the other enemies that we saw in here, so who knows.
And the Javinator gets his first look at Brachiosaur, immediately drops a smoke bomb.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the reasons to pick that up. Zelfer goes squish in the belly of the Zonator.
Oh, did he save? That's the real question.
That's why I always save. You get squished once, and that's it. Yeah. Meanwhile, Jack finds a real good group of enemies here. These Reach Frogs. You can definitely get a lot of experience out of this group.
Right.
It's just everything is so darn sturdy right now.
Well, those earrings are starting to put in work.
Oh, there goes one. Into the air. I gotta wait for him to come down.
I believe at this point finding something like an economizer, or not Gale hairpin, the gold hairpin would be great for the Ice 3.
Yeah, normally that's not something that's super useful because of like how economic everything is. Oh, that was weird. Looked like that bolt edge missed. They were just gonna chuck a poison rod instead. Yeah, it's a ton of money out of that fight too.
Yeah, those Reach Frogs and the Manta Didia are the two that are best for farming gold. And their EXP is pretty good as well.
So, Sulfur's got some good equipment for his characters already.
Yeah, the Mirage Vest is one of my absolute favorites. I pair that with a Force Shield all the time. Just, the image is great physical defense. And then you throw a Force Shield on top of that. And You're able to take more hits from just about any kind of boss you run into. We have Zelfer running the Serpent's Trench now. Let's see what he thinks about the brachiosaurs, dinosaurs that are hidden down here.
Yeah, meanwhile, Javinator picking up the stack of Thunder Rods. I think also saw those Warp Stones, so what do we let go for that? Bone Club's a pretty good choice.
And we have our first character of the game, Edgar. Edgar is a great pickup. All three of his checks can be done relatively quickly. He has a dragon down.
Well, this is traditionally one of those spots that can bottleneck you. And hey, we were, if you thought this Serpent Trench was bad enough, there's a level 50 magic down here too.
Oh no.
I mean, at least you can one-shot that guy, but...
That is actually something I did not know, was that he was classified as undead. And we have no soldier skin. Have any of our runners checked the monster?
I don't think so, and this is pretty much jackpot for Jack here, hitting Ice 3 with Ifrit, if you can survive, and you can. So, where have we seen...
On Ifrit.
Well, now, where have we seen wall rings? Because Jack's level is right at a pretty good point here. Oh,
I don't believe we've seen wall rings. I might be wrong.
I know Jack has done significantly less shopping than anyone else, and also we know our other runners have flame shields kicking around as well, so I'll make that fight real easy. So I mean, Jack likes to just go and low percent stuff, and sometimes that can come back and bite you.
Well, we'll see if his second run of it can do any better. I'm actually surprised that the Ice 3 did not one-shot Ifrit, but we do have Normalize and Distort stats on. So is it entirely possible that Ifrit just got a huge stamina pool, big HP pool?
Alright, well I see what Jack was trying to do is take a couple of levels and then go take him on. But, well yeah, there's a wall ring and Nike. Yeah, it's not gonna happen, not when you take a blaster to the face.
Yeah, doing Kefka at Narsh with two characters can be kind of brutal just because of this particular situation right here. And Javinator is catching up to the Kefka at Narsh check. Looks like he's still taking a couple of fights here. And Zelfer is making the same run.
Oh god, this is just a nightmare scenario for Jack right now. He just can't find anything to get a foothold.
Yeah, these Fanatics Tower enemies are absolutely brutal.
Okay,
oh,
well,
look, Prometheus.
yeah, Prometheus is a jerk, but if he can pull this off with a couple of Thunder Rods, that's a ton of experience too. Just everybody else has kind of caught up to Jack at this point and is significantly more well prepared. So,
Right.
let's see how this goes. Yeah, that's a ton of experience right there. Is that enough to survive? And, well, you get to... Well, it's preempt, so you're fine.
Jackmus hits another Fanatic's Tower encounter.
Alright, so Jaminator has not learned to Ice 3 yet, which is not so good right now. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised with that, with the extra fights that he took. Looks like he's playing around with the different throw options to see what he can maximize his damage for.
We got a firewall here, and that's going to do Jack's HP plus 9. So that's a death, and yeah, Jack's just going to have to write this one off. So yeah, Jack is the most prepared offensively for this, but not defensively. Javinator's I was gonna say Javinator's kind of in the same boat here, but has not seen Fire 2, has not seen Firewall.
Looks like Zelfer has a Flame Shield, so he's going to get through this fight well enough.
Yeah, nullifying ice and healing him completely. So the thing is, though, this is just going to be a really, really slow fight. And we already know that from watching Javinator, Ifrit's got a lot of health.
Yeah, normalize and distort stats. It can be extremely painful.
So, really, I think the only option that Zelfer has here right now is to sit and wait for Shiva to come out. Well, I mean, you could runic some of this magic too. That would totally do the trick to fill you up for Ice 3.
I actually did not see Runic. Zelfer does not have enough magic to actually cast Ice 3, so he is stuck on a throw command.
Alright, so this is going to get things going a lot better. So yeah, Zelfer might be the first person to get out of this fight. Jack, meanwhile, is trying desperately to find any other place where he can get some levels. And sometimes, you know, you're just stuck coming back down the mountain. Feels bad, but sometimes it's what you gotta do.
Yeah, Zelfer stacking up on the fire schemes. He should be able to get through this no problem. There it is. He's through.
Yeah, so that Flame Shield paying off real big for Zelfer. Right now, Javinator's in kind of an awkward spot here.
He might end up having to do the same thing where he has iced.
Yeah, that's a double fire. That's not what you want to see. So, all right. So, Zelfer, I think, took probably the most time to come online, just digging out gear piece after gear piece after gear piece. But you know what? That Flame Shield gets him through the bottleneck much faster than everybody else. And that's really the question, is kind of like, when do you decide to go? When is your gear good enough to actually start taking things down?
I did notice that Edgar, being the natural spear equipper, that Zelfer does not have that either Javinator or Jackamus Wedge have. So in terms of power, as soon as Jackamus actually gets through this fight, I think he'll be better off. But it's just a matter of getting there first. But I guess this is what we were expecting. But this was going to be a really rough seed.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned the economizer of the gold hairpin at first earlier, and I think that actually would have made a huge difference for a couple of these fights. If you were able to cast Ice 3 twice, yeah, that would have gone a long way. I think Javinator's going to hit the carpet again. Oh no! That was a 0. So, Got some
And
fire resistance somewhere.
yeah, absolutely.
Well, there's a Valiant knife, so anybody that didn't... Oh, well, never mind, no one can equip it. That's the way it is every seed, it feels like.
Yeah, and Valiant Knight takes a little while to come online anyways, so, it's not the greatest starting out. Let's see what we have for the discounted shops. A couple of rename cards. Looks like Zelfer's thinking about hitting the Coliseum.
Yeah, when you see players start buying stacks of things that you normally wouldn't see them buy, like the rename card, usually not something, but it could, that thing could turn into a, an Illumina pretty easily.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen Ravlin do a seed where he turned rename experience eggs and just completely opened up a seed that he was running.
Alright, so Javinator, having found, I don't know, that looks like an ice shield almost, but whatever, it works. So Javinator's going to be the second to get through this fight, and Jack being the first one to make the realization here is it's going to take another run at Ifrit.
Man, that's a beefy Ifrit.
Yeah, so Jack's setting up for the runic, and this is a point, of course, where Ifrit does nothing but punch. That's the way it always
I
works.
really like that strategy of trying to charge your MP in battle.
See, that's exactly what Jack was waiting for, and it didn't happen. And hey, there's our next character, and Cyan's a pretty good one. So yeah, Jack kind of stuck in the. I feel like this is sort of the tin cup moment for Jack, just making the same shot over and over again until it finally works. But finding the fourth character for Zelfer is pretty nice, and there are a lot of treasures to be pulled out of the castle basement, so let's see what we get.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the better ones for treasure density. Dark Hood is decent. Sky Render. I mean, you're about to get Cyan, so Sky Render is definitely decent.
Well, the equipment things are all jumbled up right now, so who knows? And speaking of getting jumbled up, yeah, I think
We ran into a poltergeist.
yeah, I think poor Zelfer's about to get jumbled up too. Well, somebody's got a fire shield, so. But how much HP does this poltergeist have is the question.
That is the question. And these water edges only doing 400 at a time. Thunder Rod's not doing much better.
Oh, eats the stop. All right, so that's pretty solid. No one's going to complain about a free turn against this boss.
Not only did they roll a rough seed, as far as the flag sets are going, bosses aren't being too kind either.
Yeah, it looks like Jack is just trying to eat enough magic from Ifrit to cast a second Ice 2, or Ice 3. And,
Looks like he has not hit it yet.
Wow, Zelfer, one person down already. Edgar holding on by the skin of his teeth.
Bio can be a very useful spell just on the HP drain, and he's already getting 1,000 damage.
Oh no, that is a confused character, and that's real bad.
And he has a Pearl Lance. And there's no way to unconfuse him.
Yeah, this is looking real bad.
Yeah, Pearl Lance itself doesn't do much damage, but if that Pearl spell procs, that's probably going to lead to a wipe.
Well, Edgar managed to snap himself out of it, so that's pretty good. And that's gonna do it. Zelfer, yeah, chiseling his way through this boss, so that is a huge step in the right direction.
And Jack Miss Wedge hitting Ifrit with a Ice 3.
Yeah.
Looks like he might be the game.
So I think Jack was kind of, oh goodness, Cyan can equip the Valiant Knife, and did we? That offering is just right there for the taking, but I think everyone just ran right past that clock except for Jack.
That clock tower in Nakia almost never gets checked. We got Zelfer going past the last item check in the Figaro basement. Looks like he's going to head straight for Ancient Castle. We got Jovinator catching up. I think Jack Miss Wedge has been beating his head against the wall enough that he's going to go find some fire resistance.
Yeah, I mean, after this point, it's just there isn't really a like, it doesn't even seem like you have like a one outer, you know. It's just there's no chance of pulling that fight off with the equipment you got right now.
So when you're in a position like this, where you've been banging against the wall against the same boss for 15 minutes or so, do you think to yourself, how far behind am I? Or do you think, how much trouble did everybody else have with this boss?
Oh no, I figured that I'm well behind everybody else. That's usually when I get into the into the channel afterwards and find out that somebody found a fire shield, or there was a Ragnarok in the chest that I didn't open. There's always something. There are a lot of ways to get through roadblocks in this game. And it's just a matter of maybe you just gotta crack open a ton of chests and look for it. I mean, this is another one of those seeds where, you know, if super balls were available, that would have been an option as well.
Super balls I find to be about as finicky as fixed dice. Sometimes they can be really great, and then other times, you know. And it looks like we have Setzer.
Alright, so Zelfer taking a pretty big lead in the character department here, but I mean, the seed has been pretty linear up until this point, so Zelfer knocking these checks out in this order kind of makes sense. I am curious to see if Zelfer with his Valiant Knife is going to kick in some monsters in a box just to see, hey, can we find Katana Soul anywhere?
Well, there are 2 monster in a boxes that he can check on the way out. Looks like he's gearing up right now, so that probably will be the play. Setzer having nothing exciting, just morph and magic, and with his low natural magic, I don't really see that being the biggest play. And we have Javinator discovering tentacle fight.
Okay, so Monster in a Box #1 is a Telstar, so not super interesting. Although I don't think we've seen a red cap yet, so the
There was a red cap in a shop. I don't remember the shop, but there was one of the armor shops.
okay,
Maybe the next store.
cool. Because if you're gearing up for that Valiant knife, that's a pretty valuable thing to have. But if you don't have that, the green beret will do in a pinch.
We also saw muscle belts in one of the South Figueroa shops as well. Maybe, I think it was the South Figueroa shop.
All right, well, this isn't what you're looking for, but nobody's going to say no to free Tiger Claws either.
Right. It looks like Javinator having the same issue with Poltergeist. Having low damage and a lot of HP for him.
Alright, so that cleans up Underground Castle and all of Edgar's checks for Zelfer. So now you have Collingen, you have Doomgaze Spot, Mount Zozo. You got a lot of stuff that you can just breeze through without any fights.
Yeah, Scion and Setzer, I mean, they're great to get early because their checks are so quick. Setzer, them being right next to each other, you can literally just go to Callingham and just bounce right into Daryl's tomb. Even if Setzer isn't useful as a character per game, I do like picking him up just for that reason.
Alright, we have a painted sky. I don't even know how this is supposed to work. But what we do have are lots of fire skins for this fight, so this is going to do a healthy bit of damage. Oh, and that's what Cyan has, health.
Yeah, I actually did not see that. Health can be good for the first half of the game, I suppose. It kind of falls off late game, but it is definitely useful before you start seeing some of the cure spells or some of the better curing items. And Cyan is already fallen.
Yeah, I've definitely played my share of seeds where cure just straight up didn't exist. So that's running into health, that sometimes that's your only option too.
And we just see Gal throw a 6,000 damage fire scheme.
Yeah, the double earring setup has been pretty powerful so far. And
he also has a Met and an enhancer. I believe all around it's 23 magic.
Alright, meanwhile, Jack is through. And also learned Bolt too. And we have an ammo weapon. Neat. So, that's a HP plus 30 Esper. Doesn't teach very much, but, HP plus 30 will... that'll get you some heft behind those Valiant Knife swings.
Absolutely.
It's not as good as strength, but I don't know if you can get somebody with like close to max HP. Valiant Knife can be pretty crazy in that setup too.
So we have Zelfer doing the Daryl's tomb, and it looks like Jackness Wedge finally got through the Ifrit fight. He's going to check the throne room.
Oh, so the Phoenix Esper also has magic power +1. That's pretty great. You can just turn somebody into whoever you want into a super magic user.
Right. And with as much as they've been using the bolt edges, that's probably going to go right to Gal. The question is, does Zelfer check this monster in a box looking for that offer?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're not coming back otherwise. And this is pretty solid, I think. It's just, do we have something that can instant kill? And I don't think we do, so let's just do a ton of damage. Yeah, this is where, like, Air Anchor would be... Air Anchor would be pretty great. Whirlwind is setting you up for Heartache, though. Yeah, you got your physical defense all straightened out.
I like the use of Golem here on the Gigantos fight.
I mean, that is a ton of damage mitigated right there.
And we have Jacobus using his rename cards.
I mean, they're pretty much tilt cards at this point. Oh, we found another Mirage Vest too, and the Murder Child.
One Murder Child. Who do we replace?
Yeah, the magic is pretty solid this seed. So, well, the stats are all over the place, so we have to see what they are first.
Right, I believe the flag set was 50 to 150. So we could have a very tame Murder Child or a Rampage.
Yeah, like not even a manslaughter. Magic power 26. Yeah, that is
That is pretty useless.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
the sad trombone and the better luck next time.
And Zelfer is opting to go into the world. 3 checks for 2 bosses. It's definitely a good place to go. We have another sniper.
Yeah, there's a lot of decent treasure locations in this area too. Like the rooms are a little bit out of the way, but the stuff on the train is pretty easy to get.
The funny thing about that sniper is that it might have said sniper, but it really was just a chest full of gold. I don't see any other use for it at this point.
I mean, it's if you had the offering, you might, but not right now. Yeah, these edges are just absolutely getting work done here. So Zelfer is just stacking Gao to high heaven, and it's working out fantastic.
And we have Giacomus Wedge picking up a set of Doom Darts, which usually is a nice chunk of change. Javinator is checking out Albrook.
So now the question is, how does Jack get through? Get through the spicy chicken.
Well, he's had a bit more time to gear up, and he's taken a few more fights than everybody else has at this point, so he may have an easier time with it. We have Javanator finding rage rings. I believe he picked up another force shield in one of the chests. Yeah, this seed really has been kind of bottlenecked, and it's been really rough. But we're getting a lot of the harder stuff out of the way early, which can be nice. Poison Rod putting in work on Poltergeist. Yeah, Jack and the Switch definitely has some catching up to do, but he's making some ground.
Yeah, it's really rough to run having your early bosses have so much HP when everything is so potentially lethal to you at low levels. And having only one character to do it with makes it just that much worse.
Right. And we have Javanator rolling the tunnel armor at the Three Stooges fight. 4,000 damage, 5,000 damage per voltage is nice.
Let's see. Who do we have here? Alright, yep. I was like, Zelfer's taking a while in this fight. So I'm pretty sure I know who this is, and it's not good. So, time to stack the shells and hope people live through this, because this is not going to be any fun.
I see Zelfer fighting Magimaster, but I didn't actually see where he got that fight at.
That is in the Rexel spot.
Okay. That is a really rough boss to run into.
I mean, this seed has had all the greatest hits so far.
Yeah, I was excited for this, and so far I'm definitely not disappointed.
Hey, Clyde, thank you very much for the raid. Yeah, we're just basically going through the inventory and chucking in as much power gear as possible. Alright, so I'm slowly watching everything that would be sent to the vendor get just flushed down the toilet in this fight, and it feels bad because that's basically like there's your auction house Esper right there.
Right. But this is your Mega Elixir for the Fallen one, on which can be about the same price, so...
I mean, it also can be your get out of jail free card in tier 3 if that one just happens to go sideways too. So it's real nice to have a Mega Elixir in that fight. Oh, Edgar eats
Actually, I don't think the auction house is going to be a play for this because the no flag.
Oh, I didn't know that. If that turns off the auction house, then that's even a better flag than I thought it was.
Yeah, it turns off all of the basic ones. Anything that doesn't have a boss behind it, with the exception Terra's Esper Mountain check, gets shut off with that flag.
Zilfer is trying very, very hard to keep multiple party members alive, but this is, I mean, again, with the stats as crazy as they are, there's a lot of help on me. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can do. Just throw that aura lance. I mean, you can start pulling off your equipment too, because at this point, just anything you can do to get through the fight, you're gonna want to do.
Absolutely. And I have recently learned that Berserk actually an almost no-brainer fight. If he was able to keep Cyan alive with that with the Valiant Knife, that would definitely be useful, but
Yeah, Javinator quietly sneaking into this fight as well, so this is, So Javinator has Go-Go, which is going to make all those throws a lot better, but Go-Go also is not nearly as durable as Zelfer's characters, so this is not a good spot for us.
And it looks like Javinator's doing desperately to keep his party members alive.
Alright, and that's going to do it, but that was a very, very resource expensive fight. So let's see what the reward is. Another character. And it's the Yeti.
Tomorrow.
So, is that, I don't think the characters were naked this seed, so that might be a snow muffler at least.
Yeah, Snow Muffler is a decent piece of equipment. I don't know that it was worth everything that he threw, but take what you can get, I suppose.
Yeah, well, let's see what we got here. So, Magicite Bismarck. So this makes things interesting now, because you have the Umaro check that you can do on the back end as well. And you do need to kill a dragon at some point. So that might line things up pretty nicely for doing that check sooner rather than later. Yeah, Javinator is just getting the worst end of this fight.
Looks like we have Zelfer going straight to start working on those rounds.
Yeah, basically trying to do the same thing Zelfer did during this fight, except with a lot worse defense. So this is looking pretty dicey.
Yeah, that early starting to pay off for Zelfer. He's creating himself a decent sized lead here. And we see Javinator starting to feel the frustration on this fight, using a Phoenix down on a Go-Go that is not dead.
Yeah, Yeah, this is one of those situations though where you have to think like, is this time for me to just write it off and go do something else? In Zelfer's case, it was just going to be slow, but it was going to be steady. In Javinator's case, this looks pretty ugly. Oh, hey, there's Goddess.
Gotta roll all the nasty ones early.
Yeah, the assortment of enemies this seed has been pretty crazy. Not gonna lie. But other bad news as well is all of the strong weapons you have left are Pearl Elementals, so you can't really throw those into this fight either.
Yeah, Goddess can be tough, but fire schemes are good here, aren't they?
Yeah, Fire Schemes will get the job done. Ice 3 also will do well. It's just, you know, you're worried about those counters and then maybe getting Quasar too.
That's right, Goddess has Quasar.
Oh, there's the love token right now. Well, we're working with Scale Element here, so we don't actually know what that's going to be. It could be Quasar, it could turn into something even worse. Like, I don't know, does that scale into Goner? I know Meteor does, but I don't know if there's like an intermediate step.
Well, let's see, 7 and 6 is 13. Yeah, that'd be right about at top progression. The progression itself is maxed out at 50, so the progression tops out at 48, I believe.
Okay, well, there's the Overcast. Don't let anybody die. But the Overcast usually indicates we're at towards the end of the fight, so there's that at least. I think I just saw Javinator throw in an Ice 3 into this fight as well, which means he's completely out of stuff.
He doesn't want to throw that Pearl Lance.
Well, he's searching for the one last thing that's left right now. Because all he has is elemental stuff left at this point. And no more Phoenix Downs. Meanwhile, Jack kicked in Mount Zozo, and we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this dragon fight now, and it turns out to be it's a pretty good one to get, honestly. Skull Dragon, as long as you don't get hit with disaster, pretty inoffensive.
And we have Zelfer picking up Palador. Palador not having anything particularly exciting.
And yeah, Jav writes this all off as a loss, so that's like 10 minutes of progress down the drain, and that's gonna feel awful too. So this is just one of those seeds where whoever took the most time to prepare came out very ahead on this. So now Zelfer's going to give Mount Zozo a shot.
Looks like this Skull Dragon is giving Jackness Wedge a little bit of issue. Oh, and Fire Scheme, 5,000 damage. Yeah, I think at this point, all three runners have to feel like they're behind.
Yeah, I feel like Zelfra would think, you know, I did some of this a little slow.
Joganator
Yeah,
breaking 3 shield against the Magic Master, getting a hit.
Yeah, I think getting the big damage in before the first wall change is definitely a way to cut down that fight's length, but there's a lot more to be done. And yeah, Jack is rewarded with Shadow here. It's definitely not what you wanted to see. And this is kind of one of those reasons why I would look at this and think, you know, I got 7 characters. Let's go do. Let's go see what the Yeti is hiding.
Yeah. I mean, with Tritalk being an almost guaranteed Esper, I believe they both ran through the peak for Umaro, and nothing showed up, so that's probably going to be another Esper.
But I guess on the flip side, pulling Shadow out of this means you get 2 checks that are reasonably okay to do. You have the free check in World of Balance, which, sure, you can just give me something. Maybe a good item, who knows. But you can at least see what's in the cave, the belt cave, before you do that fight.
Right. And we have
not ideal.
Jackamus Wedge finding the third Atma weapon of the game. I see that he's not confident on his gear yet because he is still picking up chests.
I mean, if you pull an offering or something, that would be great for a lot of runners. And yeah, so Jack's just gonna head over here immediately, and yep, this is an Esper, so that will be pretty solid for Zelfer if that's how you're gonna finish the seed off. Alright, well, we haven't checked this monster box yet either. You know, this one's even more disappointing because this is a good monster in the box to get started on, too.
Yeah.
It's really not particularly threatening, and you can just throw 4 Revivifies into it if you are super, super weak. Narapa being at the Belt Cave spot, that's a pretty easy fight, too. So, no complaints. Should be in and out of here, no problem.
Well, maybe that'll be enough for Jackamus Wedge to start pulling his way back into this race.
Let's see what this Esper has. I mean, if I know we don't have Ultima, but if we can get set up for Merton, that would be pretty nice too.
Yeah, there are definitely a few different ways to get yourself back into this.
Well,
for sure.
How about instant killing Narapa as well? That's pretty good. Let's get the Doom clip real fast.
And we have Zelfer taking his dragon fight, finding a Pearl Dragon at the marsh.
Okay, so Zelfer, alright, so there's just a crazy amount of stuff going on right now that I just didn't notice. Like, so Zelfer, through fixed dice, has ammo weapon going. There's the Valiant Knife. There's, like, what? Sure. Like, where did you find all this stuff?
Yeah, I didn't see the fixed dice either.
Yeah, I think Zelfer's just rolling this dragon to get some extra experience. There's another Pearl Lance. There's a Genji glove. All right, do we have a second ammo weapon? Yes, we do.
Well, he's got Shadow, so he's gonna eventually find another Atma weapon. Oh, yeah, he's already got it. So we have a lot of armor penetration. And Javanator finally makes his way through, picks up Bismarck.
All right, so the free item was another Pearl Lance, so I hope you like Pearl Lances this season. Double Brontor fight for Zelfer. That is a giant pile of experience, so well done on pulling this one out of the random pool.
And he just breezes his way through it. All right, let's see what we have behind the Tritalk.
It's Tritalk.
Tritalk is Tritalk. Javanator making his way over to Zozo.
So this actually is kind of a relief too, because Tritalk is one of those enemies that can really just derail your entire run if they show up in the wrong spot. The wrong spot specifically being Kefka's Tower.
Yeah, Tritalk can be a pain with all his resistance. Looks like that magic power Esper that has been sitting on Gal all game is starting to pay out.
Oh, so Jack has decided, meanwhile, to do Floating Continent. And apparently we have Flying Gigantos, which is literally the most horrifying thing imaginable. However, it's also incredibly good as far as experience goes. So yeah, let's just catch up. I wish I would have saw what Jack started at.
I also believe I saw an air anchor on that, so he has a pretty easy way of killing him.
Alright, last monster in a box check, and that is Lobo, and I am sorry, Lobo. So sorry. But yeah, just being able to air anchor these guys down, that saves a ton of time. Air anchor is also really useful in the Kefka fight too.
Air anchor being useful for the instant death.
Yeah.
About
Yeah, I mean, tools in the long arm both have so much HP. If you can just not deal with them, it's really nice.
And I missed what was in the skull carving. Did you have me catch?
Yeah, it was an Esper. I missed which one it was, but now we have 2 Atma weapons, and we're gonna fight Atma. So I mean, it's like poetry. It rhymes.
Looks like Zelfer's going to come out on top on this race. He is now able to enter Kefka's Tower.
Yeah, Zelfer has a pretty commanding lead at this point. I would say even with a poor arrangement in KT, would be able to warp stone out. Holy cow! That was like a 9K damage bolt edge. Holy smokes! That's a lot of damage. All right, so heads up for Jack too, recognizing that one of these jerks is vulnerable to instant death. So there goes Larry.
So it looks like Zelfer has all the tools he needs: dice, throw command, valiant knife. And the only thing he's really missing is an offering. When I get this point. Where? Oh, he's going to take another dragon. I guess he's not 100% confident he can roll KT.
So, the solo bosses might be a little bit imposing. Plus, this seed has been less than friendly as well. But I mean, let's look at the bright side of this. This has been kind of brutal for everybody, and Zelfer's about to kick in the door in under 120.
I haven't actually looked at the timer in a while. I thought it had been quite a bit more than that. Oh, 9 quad 9s on the water scheme.
Ooh, ow. That was a counter. Alright, there's a magnitude 8. Yeah, this is one of the least friendly dragons to run into. So we had probably the easiest, and now the not so easiest.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then this fight just doesn't make any sense at all. Jack is fighting the flying spaghetti monster.
We'll never look at that the same again.
Hey, how about another Atma weapon, Zelfer?
I do believe that makes 4 of them.
Maybe you can juggle them. I mean, what if you just did double Genji glove? Then you could just go all General Grievous, right?
Right? And that does actually kind of look like a lightsaber, so I guess it fits canon.
Alright, so we are headed in right now. We're going to leave the Yeti behind. Bring him! Bring him!
Oh, there we go. We have an abominable snowman appearance.
Alright, so what... So I don't think anyone else is going to be taking this route, so what does Jack get out of this deal? Unless, is Javinator going up too?
Yep, sure looks that way.
Wow, yeah. Yeah, doing this fight late feels awful. Just universally awful. Yeah, that's a good point, Jack. Jack does all of that, and he finds Ifrit. So, there you go. There's your irony prize. Well, that is significantly weaker than what usually hangs out there. However, Launcher is awful, so we want to get rid of this pretty quickly.
So I believe the Cyan is over 5,000 hit points, so his Valiant Knife is going to put in some work.
Yeah, I think Zelfer is trying to play this as safe as possible and just take out the launchers and stuff. Oh, gets the... That's not what you wanted to see, though. Got the the crit attack, yeah.
Yeah, that's the first time I've seen Cyan's desperation attack.
Wait, I just saw Jack equip another offering. Did he find another one somewhere? So Jack has found 2 offerings to everyone else's none.
Oh, looks like Zelfer's right on the right on the verge of being wiped.
Yeah, I think if Zelfer can get the missile bay down, this is doable. Well, actually, Zelfer is doing plenty damage, so this should be fine. Just gotta beat the count.
Yeah, I never realized how punishing would be until I've actually ran a feed with that flag set. And having only Cure 1 for a curing spell.
Yeah, I mean, you have health, but you really don't want to waste Science turn on that either.
Right.
And we have a Flame
Yeah,
Eater.
10k HP.
Yeah. Alright, so Jack makes it to the statues first, but this is this is not quite the set of statues that you're looking for.
Javinator's been on this Three Stooges fight quite some time here.
Yeah, I feel like this is giving Jack like the window to kind of kick this in and get second place. Javinator's just had some really, really awful, inefficient fights.
Flying spaghetti monsters. God. Oh, Lord. That's just great.
Looks like we may have lost some of the streams as well, so just give us a moment as we figure this out. Jack's connection may have gone out.
It could be a internet connection problem, could be a Twitch problem.
Yeah, I don't see Jack listed as online in the room either. So yeah, it's looking like an internet problem. So yeah, bear with us. We'll try to get Jack back as soon as possible. But yeah, it's just OBS tends to do very not fun things when you lose a runner in the middle of a stream.
Which is kind of sad because he was definitely making some headway.
Speaking of headway, we have here's all the switches hit. So who is guarding the middle path? The Sneeze Brigade. Easy enough.
No, it never ceases to amaze me. We have a giant talking octopus walking around a destroyed factory that got hit with a floating island.
Sure, happens every day.
And those teeth. Got Javinator pulling up onto the island itself. Baba. You know, with Baba's natural fight being at Mobliz, kind of makes me think that Mobliz is actually like Final Fantasy's version of Chernobyl.
It sure didn't end up so well after everything happened, but I guess the other thing is, with how much HP this boss has, like this guy can be a jerk sometimes, but Zelfer just sawed through this fight. It's like a hot knife through butter.
Yeah, he's definitely been preparing that bowie knife pretty well. So the question is, do you heal Cyan going into the Kefka fight, or do you let him sit at 1500 HP just to get the damage rolling?
Yeah, that's hard. It's I guess you really need to figure out what you want each character to spend time doing. But I would feel very uncomfortable given how hard the physical hits are in that fight, not healing before going out.
I wonder if any of the racers still have any of those Mirage vests.
I mean, that is one of the better items that you can run into to get set up for KT for sure. Because you do that along with like an Aegis shield or a Force shield, and it feels pretty good, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this is also a pretty cake fight too. So, I mean, we've seen pretty much all the hard stuff up front. So, I mean, I think you've earned your Tower of Ultras at this point.
Yeah, most definitely. So we have Javanator. He left the floating continent. He's going to run into his last Esper here to build.
And this guy can be a jerk too, but you know, you've got Thunder Edges or Thunder Blades to throw. So those are gonna do a heaping pile of damage. It's just, can you get these out before the boss kills you? Because I think, well, that heal is certainly going to make life a lot easier, but I was going to say, one shrapnel could just easily turn this fight on its head.
Yeah, he's not having much problem with it. He's muscling his way through everything. It's going to be interesting to see what the Normalize and Distort has done to any of the four tiers of Kefka.
Yeah, Zelfer is going into this fight in a very, very strong position. So you have all the calmness protection that you could possibly want. Like you're just in really good shape for this. So.
Yeah, Zelper definitely should have no problem running through this. And there it is. Javinator has all of his requirements to open Kefka's tower.
Now sounds like we have a budding challenger in the channel chat there. So I look forward to seeing you in the next community race.
Are we speaking of Thomas Joseph?
Yeah. So, yeah, Zelfer just absolutely destroyed the face portion of this. Like, not even going for the instant death strats or anything. Just go for the completely blow enemies up strats. It was working pretty good.
Yeah, I'm liking this Thomas Joseph 315. It's always fun when a person finally finds a randomizer.
Yeah, it's a pretty deep rabbit hole you can go down for sure. Let's see, Zelfer trying to get through this. Zelfer using Revivifies to heal people. We are in struggle street as far as healing goes.
Yeah, Cyan is the only one with a and that being Cure 1 by itself.
Just had a mild heart attack moment. Yeah. Gao getting hit there after doing quad nines. This, if that punch crits you, that's no good. All right. Meanwhile, Javinator has the requirements down to get in and is setting up pretty similar to the Zelfer here. It's a whole KT behind though, and looks like we did find double Genji glove at some point. And we're just trying to get some armor for poor Gao. So yeah, you get a Chocobo suit. I mean, that's not bad. It's a lot of extra speed.
Yeah, I had no idea that Yao had been walking around pretty much naked for this entire scene.
Yeah, just naked with cat ears.
Oh, that just sounds like a nightmare. We have Zelfer entering phase 2. Running pretty much the same strat, saying, oh, and the triple freeze.
Yeah, that's no good. Do we have fire anything? We have one fire rod. That's gonna do a lot of damage, but I think you kind of have to do it. If you hit Gao with it though, that's a heal. Yeah, all right, and then Gao can take care of the rest. Yeah, that is a real heads up play.
Yeah, from just how much damage that Fire 1 did, I'm sure that probably his party out. That's a real big brain play.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes if the luck doesn't go your way, you have to basically make your own luck,
Right?
Yeah, wow, that, those ammo weapons.
We have Javinator discovering his first boss of the Kefka Tower run.
Alright, so this is a pretty good point to just, top everybody off and get ready for the next portion of the fight. You've only got our punchy friend here. And so it's just basically whenever you want to advance to the next tier, it's all on you.
And Javinator takes a wipe. That's rough. Bringing up.
Who did Javinator wipe to? Said,
He might want to just warp out and reorganize his party. I mean, he only brought Edgar on the third group.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's going to do. That feels real bad.
I keep looking at the chat here, and this Thomas Joseph, man, it just kind of looks like his mind exploded learning about the randomizer.
I mean, that's the way I felt when I first played the Link to the Past one.
Yeah, me as well. That was how I discovered randomizers. And it's definitely a great little community here. Everybody likes to have fun, willing to help everybody out.
So, early on in the seed, Zelfer bought about 10 X potions from the discounted shop in Figaro Castle, World of Balance. And Zelfer has used every single one of them right now. So this has been like the volume of preparation for this, like just using everything in your arsenal to get through this fight. And it's just going to be capped off with the Mega Elixir. Oh no, W Win coming down after Starlight gets cast. That's just, this guy's just being a jerk. And that's what I was like, you do have the Mega Elixir, it can, you can get out of jail free.
There it is, he's using it.
Yeah. I think you kind of have to at this point, unfortunately.
Looks like we got Jack Miss Wed. No, maybe not. We have something going on here with the stream.
So it looks like we're getting another Javinator. Jack will be back soon, but I think we're just making the layout spot for Jack's return. But yeah, Jack's computer crashed, so this is gonna be pretty rough. And speaking of pretty rough, here's Train. So just everything that can go wrong is going wrong for Zelfer right now.
Yeah, Train is definitely a big roadblock.
Alright, so the Meteo came out, and he's got a command queued, so if this doesn't kill, this could be really bad. Alright, we're good. We're in good shape. Double Calmness comes out too, and so we had that caught twice.
Yeah, so Fallen One, not gonna be fun to deal with when you lost your Mega Elixir and you only have Cure.
Yeah, things like Goner, Hyperdrive. That's all real scary when you don't have your Mega.
Got, I think probably the ideal situation. Excuse me, the ideal situation for Zelfer would be see if we can do enough damage in these first 4 rounds to bypass the Fallen phase completely. I certainly think that would be the strategy that I'm taking.
And we have the return of Jackmas Wedge. With the rename card for CP.
Yep. Computer crash. Feels bad. Still gonna try to finish this out though. Alright, so there's the Fallen One. I think Zelfer. Okay, so it looks like Zelfer is counting HP right now and is just getting right to the borderline of the Ultima range. And then as soon as Goner charges up, here's everything. Cool. So the one you threw the elixir on is the one that just got blown up. This has just been nightmarish. Like, that's it though. You just do not have a lot of sustain in the scene.
And sometimes that's just the way it is. I mean, randomizers. And we are back to using Revivifies to heal. And we have all 3 button presses for Javinator.
Yeah, though the way this Kefka's tower has been going, Javinator's been able to make a lot of progress. So okay, right now, and I see what Javinator's or Zelfer's trying to do is trying to get as much power into those swings as possible. Gets the.
That is not what you want to see, but it looks like it works.
Yeah, I think at this point you just have to swing here too. This might be enough to kill Edgar. Let's see.
Oh no, Goner just hit.
Yeah, so that's a wipe for Zelfer, and that opens the door pretty wide for Javinator to make her run in. That's that was really one of the most aggressive Kefka's tower I've seen, and it's just sort of bad luck and bad timing with the whirlwind into the Starlet. Otherwise, I think Zelfer would have been fine. But yeah, it looks like everybody has certainly gotten their fair share of terrible luck this time around, and here we go for round 2.
Well, I mean, it can't get much worse than that. Jackmas Wedge running into Magic Master here. This was a terrible fight for everybody else.
I wonder if Jack knew if Magimaster was next, if he would have even bothered finishing the seed.
Yeah, I'm only slightly surprised that we haven't seen a forfeit out of that. I mean, that's really unfortunate to have your computer crash like that. Zopher still being the lead, but his lead has cut down quite a bit. He is still set to take first place, though.
I have to say as well, missing that offering in Nike has probably caused Zelfer at least 20-25 minutes.
Yeah. And it's just one of those things that, you never talk about because chests are overlooked or walked by quite a bit. And the idea behind it being, well, that probably saved me a couple of seconds by bypassing this, as opposed to it being an offering or, one of those god tier items that could have sped up your entire game.
Yeah. And Jack has 2 of them. Or Jack found 2 of them. Sold 1.
Javinator running into Inferno Striker here.
Alright, so as is tradition, we've got just Edgar and Gao alive for the Magimaster fight. And Javinator kicking in the door right now, so I think both of them are gonna be pretty surprised at how close they were to each other.
Yeah, definitely, no doubt. And despite the fact that Jack Miswedge is so far behind, looks like he's having an easier time with the Magimaster fight than anybody else. Mostly because the Atma weapon.
Well, now, hold on a second. What's this Flare Star gonna do? Alright, yeah, we're fine. It looks like Jack may have hit a higher tier of, may have hit a higher tier of weapons right now. Or, not weapons, scale element.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing that Flare Star anywhere else. Those Atma weapons are putting in work. Javinator over here doing 8,000 damage.
Yeah, that's a surprising amount, honestly. Cyan also has no HP, so the next Valiant Knife hit is going to be absolutely brutal. I gotta say, I think Jack got out of that Magimaster fight faster than anybody.
Yeah, Amos definitely did. And it looks like he's at requirement to enter Kefka's tower himself. Or is he one Esper short? Nah, he's one Esper short.
Yeah, Javinator is making really fast progress for this KT as well. The first tier went very well.
Oh. And we have Flare Star popping out on tier 2 of Kefka Javinator, wiping Cyan.
Yeah, unfortunately Cyan is also an imp, so do we have green cherries? No, we have the imp spell though. That's good enough. Zelfer taking another train on the chin as well. Down comes the flame shield. I think we're just gonna be pushing as hard as we can on this. There's calmness, so fine.
Well, he barely makes it out with Cyan alive there. Alright, let's see if this goes any better for him than it did last time. Javinator has his, Jack and the Swedge has his requirements. So he's entering Kefka's tower now.
Yeah, I mean, for all of the trouble that Jack went through, he's been making terrifically fast progress too. So here we go, everybody into KT. Zelfer back on the Kefka fight with much more in the resource department, and Jabinator is now having Zelfer's first round of luck on this KT fight.
I like the fact that Zelfer here is making use of the. I find that to be kind of an overlooked, underappreciated ability. Mega Elixir coming out.
Yeah, and this, everything about this is going much better. Just look at the damage output from Edgar.
Yeah, 6,000 a swing, totaling 12,000. That is definitely what you want to see.
Alright, and that's it.
And we have our winner, Zelfer at 156.25.
Yeah, for all of the suffering the seed bestowed upon our runners, still under 2. So yeah, GG's to Zelfer for taking a pretty brutal seed and showing us how it's done.
Yeah, absolutely. So are we going to try to pull him into the voice chat, do like a little interview?
It's up to Zelfer. We'll see. If they show up, we'll pull them in.
See Jack Miss Wedge here taking a little pain against Air Force.
Yeah, this guy can be a jerk if you don't have the right tools to just instantly take him out, and it's because of the scaling on that attack launcher is awful. And we're joined by Zelfer right now. GG.
Thank you, much appreciated.
That looked to be about the most aggressive KT I've seen somebody had in a long time. Just not the like I said, once you got past tier 1, just brutal.
Oh man, I was very unhappy when I went through that final battle the first time.
Yeah, we were talking about how you stocked up on X potions, and that looked like that was going to be a good move given the amount of healing, and you burned through a whole ton, and it was like, really? And then double whirlwind and just anything that could have gone wrong did.
Yeah.
Yeah, right before the whirlwind was absolutely killer.
Oh man, I really thought that was going to be enough X potions. I usually don't use like 1, 2 maybe, but nope. I was chugging them like they were water this time, and it wasn't enough the first time I went through. I tried to take extra safe measures the second time around so that they would last the entire fight. I was really debating going back and trying to remember where I bought them so I could just stock up on a bunch and just call it a day, but I was stubborn.
So you were about the last person to roll into Kefka at Narsh, but you were also the only person that had that fire shield, so it actually worked out pretty well in your favor. It was definitely a struggle for the other runners.
Oh yeah, I just plain got out lucky. I saw the Thunder Shield at a different shop, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna mark this down. I'm gonna get a Thunder Shield, but I didn't have enough money at the time, so I said, forget it. And then later on, I had more crap to sell, and I found the Flame Shield, and I was like, all right, fine. Fire's a good element to have as a spell. I guess I'll pick up a Flame Shield since I'm here and I don't feel like backtracking. And as soon as I saw Ifrit, I was like, oh, I am so glad I have this Flame Shield right now. This is great.
It was a real heads-up play for sure. It was just real difficult to get out of that fight without either an ice or a fire shield.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I'm not sure if we got the Force Shield by that time. We had Ice 3, but I didn't have the levels to cast it, so maybe someone could have Ice 3 their way through? 1 or 2 casts, maybe. I'm not even sure.
That's the thing, though. Like, Jack tried to set up 2 casts and finally did it, and Ifrit was still standing. And it was just, really?
Damn.
Like, you do about 8.5k, and nope, still around.
Wow. That's amazing, actually. Wow.
Well, I mean, that's what we were looking forward to when we saw this flag set, and I mean, it was the dreaded Kefka Nurse bottleneck, but I mean, that's when preparation really pays off, is seeds like this.
Yeah, I think I lucked out. If it was something like leader at Kefka North, I'm sure it would have been riding behind somebody's tails.
So there was also an offering in the grandfather clock in the Nike Inn. So
Are you serious?
yeah.
Oh, I was looking all seed for an offering in an IKEA clock. I never checked that thing anyway. Fine, whoever got it, they deserve it. I was never finding it.
Yeah, it's just
We came across 2 offerings through the game, and I could see both y'all, you and Javinator, both searching for them.
Oh man, I searched long. I searched hard. I found a Giganto, so that was nice. But everything else I opened, garbage. Absolute pure garbage.
Well, definitely props to you for coming out on top on this. A lot.
Thank you. I think I got more lucky than anything, but thank you. I will take it anyway.
I mean, you say you got unlucky, but you also found 2 extra characters that nobody else did, so...
Oh, man. Well... I mean, they stood around, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think one of them ate a punch, so it was useful. Any final thoughts on this seed or this flag set, maybe?
The flag set, well, alright. I'm not a fan of Normalize Distort, but other than that, flag set seems kind of interesting. You don't get the overpowered stuff as much, you know, makes you think a little bit. Alright, sure. I can get behind the flag set. This seed can go die. I really, no. This thing's a nightmare. I'm surprised Radlin's not here to, you know, laugh at us. Like, this thing, no. But the flag set, yeah, sure. The flag set seems interesting.
Yeah,
Makes you think a little bit.
Radlin's probably in the middle of a Dota match, just glancing over and laughing.
Alrighty, well, thanks for having me, guys. Hope everybody enjoyed the show, despite the cost. And I will see you guys around. Thank you very much.
Yeah, GG Zelfer. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Alright, so we go into Javinator's second shot at... yeah, and so Jack is running into this kind of the same issue here. And just decided we're gonna absolutely obliterate Air Force. We're gonna bring the whole army.
And despite having the whole army down here, it still seems like a bit of a struggle.
Yeah, I mean, when this boss is an HP sponge, it can be not a fun fight. I mean, especially because Launcher that's just a brutal amount of damage.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost as bad as Fallen One. Looks like he put that offering on Shadow. Oh, there he goes. You got it. Jobinator's on his second round of Kefka. This one looks to be going a little better.
Alright, so we have rebalanced the parties again. The evil Air Force has been defeated.
Yeah, this has definitely been an interesting seed to watch. It's definitely interesting to see how different people approach, different situations like this. Despite all the major time lost, Jackamus having made up most of that.
All right, so we're getting the life threes ready to go as well. So if we can dodge a Meteo out of this should turn out pretty good. Let's see. Yeah, the damage just isn't coming as fast as it did for Zelfer. It's a punch, that's a good turn now. Here's the train, yeah, that's the no good one. There's the media. Yeah, so he's just gonna rip the life threes off of a couple of characters. Yeah, this could be bad news. This could be real bad news. Looks like we're just gonna leave Shadow to take a dirt nap too. Alright. So, hard part over, hopefully? Javinator moving on.
And you say hopefully. It looks like Edgar was the fallen. Gogo was the one to Shadow. Might be a little underleveled, but definitely not the worst thing to see here. And a fallen one coming out. Jackamus Wedge has all three pressed and is ready to start fighting statues.
Good time. Javinator is doing a pretty good job of cruising through this fight right now. Let's see, we're doubling up on the ammo weapons again, it looks like. Or at least we're gonna put the flame shield someplace where we won't forget it.
Quad 9s on flame shield. All right, how bad is this goner going to be? No, not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, we're in pretty good shape still. Just oh, there's train. Never mind.
So, I mean, what do you do? Do you swing for the fences? Try to recoup.
Well, I mean, the Ultima isn't gonna do very much right now, so I think you just wait for the second gunner to come up and then just have at it. Get out your GGs for Javinator. It's a good finish time. Given how much poor Javinator went through, that was a pretty solid finishing time.
Absolutely.
And we're joined by Javinator right now. You survived, GG.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. That was quite a scene.
Yeah, it seemed like that bottleneck gave you about as much trouble as it gave Jack, but also that Magimaster fight was just that was a feels bad moment.
Yeah, I should have reset out of that way earlier. I had a brain fart at the start and didn't break my flame shield right away to get that kind of like huge chunk of damage first, and then I was just trying sunk cost fallacy, just trying to get through that fight. But yeah, that was a rough one for sure.
Yeah, I think it's just you don't. It feels bad breaking those shields too because they're so useful, but at the same time, like everything has so much HP in this suit.
Yeah, I didn't feel too bad because I knew they were for sale half price in South Figaro World of Ruin, so I knew I could get them back if I really needed to. But yeah, it's still not always easy to break them for sure.
It's too good to use syndrome. What would any RPG be without it?
Exactly. I guess say clearly that wasn't an issue I had because I was throwing literally everything I had at the stupid thing, but it turned out the drains at the end couldn't do it, and then he wouldn't do enough damage to my Gao to let me use drain strats. I guess I could have taken the shield off so they would have done more damage to him, so I could have drained more effectively, I guess. But yeah, that was a wacky seed, man. Had to do a lot of weird strats and stuff to get through that one.
Well, I mean, going over like what we saw in the beginning, there was Magimaster, there was Poltergeist, there was the Ifrit bottleneck. Like there was just nothing was free in this scene. Like even Air Force was just like in the wrong spot.
Yeah, and I kind of totally forgot Normalize and Distort was on until I got to tier 2 of Kefka, and I was like, why is this doing so much damage? I was like, oh yeah, Normalize and Distort. Maybe I should do a little more Protect. Yeah, I'm glad I got through it.
But yeah, I mean, even tier 2 of the Kefka fight gave you the business, but you persevered and you made it through. So,
yeah,
GG.
I should have taken a little bit more time when I got that Esper with Cure 3 on it. I sort of thought I learned it and had a bit of a brain fart, and then got to the final fight with nobody having Cure 3, and I was like, oh, whoops. That would have made a huge difference. If I'd like even taken one dragon fight and learned that, I probably could have challenged Zelfer for that kind of. I would have been a lot closer to him anyway. But yeah, it was a fun one. It was a challenge. I haven't had a seed that hard in quite a while.
So, what do you think of the flags overall?
They're kind of fun. I do enjoy random equipable. It is the replay flag set, and so it's supposed to make it replayable. And not always when racing because there's some randomness there. But I do enjoy the random equipables because then you finally get something that like works and it just clicks and you're like, oh yes. And it also forces you to use a whole bunch of items and stuff you probably wouldn't normally necessarily use because all of a sudden they're the most useful thing you have available. So I do enjoy it. I'm not a huge fan of the normalize and distort flag alone. Like if it was the exact same seed without that flag, I probably would have liked it a little better. But yeah, overall they're fun.
All right, well, GG Javinator, congrats on finishing.
Yeah, thanks very much. I'm gonna pop out and see what Jack's doing. Have a good one, guys.
All right, take care. So, Jack, about ready to finish this out. Just we are just a few bosses away from seeing how Jack decides to deal with the Kefka fight. All right, so here we go. Jack finally into the Kefka fight after both the seed and his own computer conspired against him.
Oh, there we go. I think I'm back in this now. I had a little technical difficulty with my mic.
No worries. Can hear you. Can hear you again.
So we got Jack and Miss Wedge coming Kefka now. And despite every issue, like you were saying. I'm interested to see how he's going to come about this final Kefka fight. Yeah, I like what Javinator's point. That.
This whole seed was basically, oh god, the only freebie I saw was Ultras.
Yeah, I never would have guessed that the Atma weapon is for the randomizer itself.
It's had some adjustments to make it a lot better. So now it's definitely not the auto sell item it used to be, which is good. It certainly helps when it comes to diversity of strategy and all that.
I think after watching this, I'm gonna have to put.
Well, So Shadow knows lore and knows Whirlwind. So there's our healer. Can't really ask for much more than that. Except doesn't do a whole lot when you get hit with Whirlwind. So.
I mean, you really got to give it to Jagamus Wedge on this tenacity he pulled and just being able to get to Kefka. I'm impressed.
Alright, out comes the air anchor, so we're making pretty good progress so far. Here comes the sour mouth to dump a bunch of status ailments on this fight.
Not a sour mouth. That does basically like all of the status effects: imp, poison, dark.
Yeah,
Is
pretty
that
much
right?
everything. Well, here's the Northern Cross too. We'll see if alright, Jack gets out of that unscathed too.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I think I remember seeing 3 party members frozen for Zelfer.
Oh, Ice 3 is pretty nice to have in this tier, because you usually want to take care of Tiger as soon as possible, and that's just conveniently what he happens to be weak to. But yeah, the sniper doing a whole bunch of work too.
The quadruple throw.
Yeah, I mean, snipers kind of alright towards the beginning of the game, but it's just when you run into those bosses that levitate, that's really where it becomes something special.
I've got 10 hits coming out. Doesn't seem to be doing that much damage. Is it just me, or does it seem a little odd that Shadow likes to use his dog as a shield?
It's cool, the dog always gets the last word.
And we're on to tier 3. All in all, this Kefka fight seems to be going a lot smoother here than it has for our other runners.
Yeah, so far so good. But I mean, everything can always go sideways in tier 3, so we'll see what happens here. I think that's the first Merton that we've seen, too. Alright, well, that's the first Merton that I've seen then, so I should be paying better attention, I guess. Well, that looked like a crit that the dog just ate, so that's also pretty useful. Yeah, at this point we're just chucking whatever we can here.
I'm actually kind of surprised he has that much left after everything he's been throwing at everybody else.
Yeah, unfortunately, he has to take a turn to Pearlwind to get everybody topped off. Because we're kind of in Medio territory right now. That's where things get a little scary. It's a couple of throws out of that, but we're still not seeing the calmness yet. Oh, there's the train. So it looks like everybody got pasted with this at least once. Feels bad.
And here comes Medio. And there's calmness. On to tier 4.
Yeah,
Final.
no, that one pretty okay too.
He still has his Mega Elixir.
Alright. The sniper doing some pretty good work so far. That's a complete lack of MP though.
And here comes Fallen One.
Yep, still has the Mega Elixir though.
And I'm pretty sure that's about all he's got left. There it is.
Yeah.
Gee.
GG.
$232.27. All things considered, pretty decent time.
Yeah, and just hey, we're joined by Jack right now. That was a rough one, buddy, but congrats on finishing it.
Hooray!
Yeah, you
So,
seem to have a couple struggles early, especially with.
Yeah, it gave you the business for sure.
so I can't decide if it was more difficult or my computer crashing and losing me 20 minutes was more difficult.
I think all things considered, man, you played one hell of a game.
I had a lot of fun, and I think it showed. Like if I wasn't having fun when my computer crashed, like that's it. I would have been done. I would have just typed in the FF, but I'm like, no, I'm having fun with this. This is torture. I love it. I want to keep going. And luckily for me, my save file was still there when the computer came back. I was like, all right, I'm gonna hop back in, and there we go.
Yeah, it seemed like this was the seed that kept on giving. After Ifrit, you had Poltergeist, and then Magimaster at the back end of the dream. Just lots of quote unquote fun things to deal with.
Uh, lots of fun things for sure. Ifrit was the one thing I really didn't have an answer to early on. Like I tried to level past the like 500 some damage attacks, and that seemed to work. But then he could tank 2 Ice 3s, and then oh right, when you get him angry, he uses a higher tier fire spell. So I can't tank that atomic ray or whatever it was that did 700. So it's like okay, I'm out of here. Gonna go look for some fire resist. Yeah,
Yeah.
the spicy chicken was actually very simple by comparison because I had fire resistance at that point, and more than one character. So if someone went down, use a phoenix down, keep going. I hope you enjoyed watching my wacky shenanigans.
I did, especially the chainsaw kill. That one was pleasant.
Yeah, well, we'll see. There's the thing. I normally save that little image for whenever I win a race, but I've never actually killed bosses with the chainsaw until tonight. In fact, I didn't even know Narapa was vulnerable to instant death. I was so surprised that worked. That it's like, well, it was the chainsaw. I mean, it's appropriate. You gotta bring out the glory kill.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
So, what are your thoughts on the flag set in general?
I like tougher flag sets for sure. So there was a certain element of trying to fake your way through quite a lot of this one. The equipment restrictions were probably the roughest thing. Like, I really didn't have any defensive gear at all going into Kefka's tower or the final battle. It was just I know I can get through this with offense because I got lots of that. So just kind of cross my fingers and hope the normalize and distort doesn't buff up the max HP totals too much and go from there.
Well, we are about to wrap things up here. So, any final thoughts before we boot the stream?
This is probably the most fun I've had in a community race in quite some time. Even though I lost 20 minutes from my computer crashing on me. It would. I think it would have been interesting to see how close it would have been between me and Jav if not for that. I don't know what Zelfer did, but I'm guessing Zelfer did Ancient Castle, and that probably led to a different character and all sorts of other wacky things that made it easy. But yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I want more challenging weekly races, and more weekly races where rename cards are plentiful, so I can have a little bit of fun with that too.
Yeah, we saw that. I feel like maybe we should petition for an option to start with those in the inventory.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure what I was gonna call Ifrit, but luckily, the Discord has a catch-all for censored words, so I went with that. and I don't even know why I gave Shadow the name that I did. I think I was just running on fumes at that point. It's like, oh, it's a new character, I better rename it. And then my computer crashed, so I had to rename guys. And I don't know. I had a lot of fun with this one. I don't even care that I got obliterated by both of the other racers. It was fun. Good enough.
All right, well, GG's, and hey, good luck in the draft tournament as well.
Yeah, some races are more worth taking seriously than others, and I'm glad I didn't take this one seriously, because if I did, I probably would have had an aneurysm after the start. So yeah, thanks to you guys for putting this on, even though we had a small turnout, and I hope you guys had fun. I had fun, and I hope whoever was watching had fun. And let's go Bruins!
Sweet. Thank you very much, Jack. GG, and thanks for joining me on commentary tonight, Baron. It was a lot of fun. It looks like you put yourself on mute as well. So I'll just take us out then. Thanks to Franklin for doing the tracking, and Seto for doing the restream. And thanks for hanging out and watching, everybody. Appreciate all the raids and such. Have a good night.